Welcome into the box score. Terry Collins along with Murphy Fair. And Murphy, we've got games now that will be more important because you got a lot of region games stacked up here at the end.
Absolutely. It's a do or die time right now for sure.
Let's go ahead and look at our Cornersville at Cannon County Sonic stats of the week. Cannon County gets the big win at home, 16-14 in our Huff and Puff Trucking game of the week. Very even stat-wise, but that safety proved to be a difference, and then Cornersville misses a 31-yard field goal that would have won it. But Murphy, the stats are virtually even.
They really are, and I talked to Coach Shars, and he told me that basically it was do or die, and all. They really didn't have a whole lot of control on that field goal attempt at the end of the ball game, but a win is a win.
And we want to thank Sonic of Carthage for sponsoring this, and go ahead and look at the individuals. Braden Smithson, 16 carries for 54 yards at a score. Cale Sellers, 11-yard touchdown rush, and then Eli Garrett, the quarterback, 10 for 16, 103 yards, and then very effective on the ground with 8 carries for 87 yards. For Cornersville, Hunter Euland, 127 yards rushing and a score, and then Austin Cooper adds a rushing touchdown as well.
My apologies to the Cannon County coach. It's Barsh, not Shars. I was thinking of somebody that used to coach at Smyrna a long time ago.
Let's go ahead and look at the DeKalb County, Macon County. You think, well, Macon County, easy time of it. No, it wasn't. With about halfway through the third quarter, it's DeKalb County 27, Macon County 14, and then Kyle Shoulders' bunch went crazy over the last quarter and a half as they went on a 35-0 scoring run. Zach Borders, a big night, 16 carries, 219 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Luke Gammon, a big night on the ground. That's the quarterback, 151 yards rushing and a couple of scores. Then for DeKalb, Jordan Parker, 11 for 23, 119 passing yards, a touchdown, a 19-yard rush for a touchdown. And then John Hendricks, a receiving touchdown. Murphy, you were at the game, had to be a great atmosphere.
It really was. DeKalb took the opening kickoff and just marched right down the field like there wasn't another team out there almost. But not only did Macon County's offense go crazy, 35 unanswered points, they shut down DeKalb in the entire second half. And that was a great effort on Kyle Shoulders, and it was just one of those classic ball games.
Let's go ahead and look at the Watertown at Giles County. Offense, and offense. The Bobcats win it 42-21, but nearly 500 yards of offense by each team. As when you look at Giles County, the quarterback, Xavier Randolph, 11 of 18, 208 yards passing, a score. Caleb Oates, a huge night rushing the football, 37 rushes for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then Kareem Bryant, the favorite target of Randolph, 7 receptions, 172 yards a score, and then 3 carries for 30 yards and a score. And I don't know that I ever, Murphy, have seen. Now, I'll give you when CAK and Mr. High was there, I've seen these type of numbers, but Blake Waldorf, that's the most passing yards, 31 for 45, 426 yards that I've seen in this area, maybe ever.
Maybe we've had that happen maybe a time or two with Livingston. They had some pretty good throwers up there as well and receivers as well. But that's a very impressive number, and I don't think Watertown's got anything to hang their head about. 21 points against Giles County. Giles is a good football team that's going to go deep in the playoffs, and I think they've done a great job, given where they started the season, to put 21 on the board against Giles.
Of course, I would have to ask a couple of people from Watertown. That may be a school record for that. Of course, you don't know that for sure, but a great night by him. Marcus Reynolds, 9 catches for 131 yards. Jesse Bratcher, 10 for 100. And then Garrett Davis, 7 receptions, 111 yards. 3 players with over 100 yards receiving.
That's pretty amazing. That's a good night at the ballpark, isn't it?
Definitely is. Let's go ahead and look at the Smith County and Uffman. Uffman leads that game 43-0 at halftime. Mercy Road in the second half. Bronson Chaffin, very impressive, 5 for 9, 110 passing yards. He did have an interception. Cole Hackett got it. 3 carries for 55 yards, 3 total touchdowns. Ethan Paulk, the running back, 7 carries for 71 yards and a score. Riley Martin, 5 of 11, a couple of interceptions, one of those returned for a touchdown. And then he had 9 carries for 32 yards. Jermaine Cason, kind of a highlight, 4 receptions for 57 yards and a score for the Owls.
Upperman still has games against White House, Stone Memorial, and the season ender at DeKalb County. I may have to go to Smithville again to watch that one. That ought to be a dandy.
Gordonsville goes on the road and gets a big win at Forest, 39-19. Jamario Williams in place of Bryson Grissom, who's out with an injury. 17 carries for 197 yards, a couple of scores. Jay Foster, 57 yards passing, 90 yards rushing, and a couple of touchdowns. But Murphy, that's a pretty impressive win for Gordonsville to go to Chapel Hill and get the W.
In my statewide radio show, I said Forest and Marion County, those are the 2 teams that Region 4 2A are battling for the regional championship. And yeah, you're right, Forest has got a great football team. I've seen them play twice, and they're not bad.
Quincy Mitchell for the Rockets, 13 carries for 122 yards and a score. 1 reception for 33 yards, and then Aiden Cantrell, he was 6 of 12, 84 yards and 8 rushes for 22 yards and a score. We'll have more of the box scores. We'll have an interview with Chuck Gentry when we return from Lebanon High School. As we remind you, you're watching the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
At DTC, we're constantly looking at ways to improve your quality of life, to help you make the most of all your connections so that you'll have time for the things that matter most, whether at work or play.
Score the best connection with internet that slays. Receive a free month of service when you add or upgrade your internet package with DTC. It's a great time to get started.
Call or visit DTC online today and make the most of your connections.
Hello, I'm Bruce Daniel. I've lived in Cannon County all my life. For the last 59 years, I've only made it across the highway. I married my wife, Melody, in 1981. We hauled our first load of freight in 1983 with 1 truck and a couple old barred trailers. We found a way to make it. Our employees are the backbone of our company. Some of our team members have been with us for more than 30 years.
Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines is a proud supporter of athletic programs throughout the area, including high school football and high school basketball. To learn more about us, please visit us at our website, www.nearstar.com. Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines.
And welcome back to the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway. Terry Collins, Murphy Ferry, and Justin Malden always doing a great job for us. And we've got former Smith County alum, now Lebanon head football coach Chuck Gentry with us. Coach Gentry, welcome aboard.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Coach, I know that you've got to be kind of like a proud papa moment. I know you got 2 girls and they're into cheerleading and tumbling and all that, but you had a pretty special guy in Zion Loeb that played for you, then went on to the University of Georgia, got a couple of national championship rings, and got a couple of FaceTimes to Coach Gentry actually on the field after the game. And now another proud papa moment. He goes from the Atlanta Falcons practice squad to the Buffalo Bills team, and on Sunday I actually watched the game, and he had a couple of tackles. I know that's got to make you awful proud.
Yeah, it does, Terry. The very first football player that I talked to when I got hired, December 20th, 2016, after my interview with Zion Loeb, and we sat down and had a had a talk, and he wanted to be an NBA basketball player, and we had a good conversation. Shortly after that, talked to his mother and father, and they basically turned him over and said, whatever, treat him like he's yours. And our goal was to just get him a scholarship, an offer to go play somewhere. He did his part. Genetics played a large part in it, but he ended up at the University of Georgia. Coach Kirby Smart and Coach Trey Scott did an outstanding job as developing him, one, as a person, and then two, as a football player. And Kirby told him, sitting in his office, I'm either going to run you back to Lebanon or someday you're going to be able to make a lot of money. And sure enough, 2 national championships later, a communication degree, and a spokesperson for their defense for 2 years. Got a lot of camera time because he was articulate and intelligent and able to talk in front of a lot of people. He got drafted in the 6th round by the Falcons, and I was on the practice field the other day, and Mama called me and said Zion's going to Buffalo, signing on the 53. They plan to play him on Sunday. And he got to mix it up a little bit Sunday and played well, had 2 tackles, and hopefully it's the start of a long NFL career.
Chuck, as Terry said, you've got to be awfully proud, but at what point in his career did you think this guy might make it to the NFL?
When he started getting a little run on the Georgia defense his sophomore year, and he had a hard 2 weeks in the spring, and Coach Scott called me and said, hey, I need you to call Big Z and give him a little encouragement. He's had a hard 2 weeks, but he's very close to turning the corner. And we had a talk about exactly what Coach Smart said. I said, they're trying to see if you'll run back to Lebanon or if you're a real dog. And in that G-Day game that spring, he was a starter and played well. And after that, Coach Scott told me, he said he is on his way. He just got to keep improving. And from that moment on, when you hear somebody that's doing it every day, that's producing NFL talent and practicing with NFL talent every day, and he says he's got a chance, that was a pretty special moment. And to see him be able to, to do the things that he did in college, and there's a lot of people that said, Coach Gentry, he don't make many plays. I'm like, no, he's usually getting blocked by 2 people so those other people can make plays. And there's a reason that they keep running him out there, because he's doing exactly what they ask him to do. And I asked him one time, hey, how come you're just standing in the middle, pushing the center back or the guard back? You're not shooting a move. You're not trying. He said, I ain't supposed to. If I shoot a move, I don't play. And so he's the type of individual that stats didn't matter. Coach asked me to do something, I'm going to do it. And again, he was in there to stop the run. Other people were there to make plays in the passing game. So he did his job, and I'm assuming if Kirby and Trey put their stamp on you, it's a pretty good mark.
Coach, when you look at your Lebanon team this year, struggling a little bit. I know had a tough time against Ubman. You did beat Watertown. When you look at this year, I know you lost an awful lot of speed this year, but you've got a running back that seems to be doing some special things for you. I know a couple of games he's had at or over 200 yards for you.
Yeah, Terry, we've had a hard time, finding our rhythm on offense, because we didn't, up until the day before we played Antioch week 1, we had not had all of our players on the field together. We had injuries and things, and so it's taken us a while to get going. We finally, 2 weeks ago at Watertown, finally got everybody together healthy for the very first time, minus one offensive lineman, and we're kind of catching our wind a little bit and functioning well. Friday night we played Wilson Central, and Harrison had 18 touches, averaged 14.3 yards a touch, scored 5 touchdowns, 4 running, 1 catching the ball. And, we had a quarterback threw for over 100 yards and no turnovers. And then we finally, again, are playing a little better and tackling on defense. And hopefully we're gelling at the right time. And I said earlier in the year, we're close. We're one block away. We're one missed tackle away. And I also said that there's a lot of bad football teams that say they're close. Close doesn't count. So, we went back to work. We're blocking and tackling every day live, just like it's spring practice, and trying to get better. And I feel like we are, and hopefully that plays dividends as we close out the season.
Chuck, I don't really mean to spend too much time on Mr. Logue, but we don't get a lot of NFL players from our 5-school coverage area here, and I'm very curious to find out more about Mr. Logue. Were there a lot of tough love moments between you and he, or it sounds like what you had to say a few minutes ago, that he was one of those kids that wanted to get better and took to heart anything and everything his coaches asked of him?
Murphy, that's a kind of a two-sided question. A lot of people, especially in Lebanon, question, is he good enough? Is he good enough? Is he good enough? And Kirby Smart told me, Chuck, he's 6'6", 300 pounds, and can touch his ankles with his bottom when he squats. He said he is special. And he said, I'm just going to tell you, if he didn't have that, I'm going to take some plays off and everything, then there would be coaches lined up from here to Mount Juliet to see him. And he said that's our job to get that out of him, because to him, he's 6'6", and everybody's saying, your big play nice don't hurt anybody. And he said, you're trying to get him to do that. And so John is a great young man, great kid. So we didn't have many problems. But we were practicing one day, and he was playing tight end. And we were asking him to block down, and he blocked down, and some kid about 175 pounds spun off of him. And I said something to him, and he kind of mumbled. And I wanted to make a point, and I said, that's fine. That's fine. You can mumble. Just go stand in the corner. Go stand in the corner of the practice field down there. And we were moving the ball, so we went, and I guess it was about a 20-minute period. And for about 15 minutes, he stood down there in the corner by himself. And he come back. He walked back behind me, and I said, you go down there and you think about Kirby Smart and how you're going to play for him, because you can't play for Lebanon High School. And he said, Coach, I'm sorry. And I said, well, that don't get it done. I said, you're supposed to be the dude around here. If I ask you to do something, I expect the answer to be yes, sir. And we had a water break, and he come back, and after practice, he apologized to the team and to me in front of everybody. He said, it'll never happen again. And him and about 4 others are directly responsible for changing the culture of Lebanon High School when we got there, because that's how it had been in years past. And I said, if y'all going to act the same old, you're going to get the same old. You have to change, and you have to do. And again, there was growing pains in those first couple of seasons, but he is one. When your best players are good people, they work hard and they buy in. It makes it a lot easier to do than if they are selfish and only worried about themselves and everything else. But I can say Zon and his senior class really helped us set the tone for being able to change Lebanon from the 0-10, 1-9 homecoming teams that people kind of thought they were for a while.
Coach, that speaks volumes for him, but I think it speaks volumes for you too, Chuck. And you've learned from Jimmy Maynard primarily, and some others too. And that's just one major reason why you've been so successful as a head coach, I think.
Well, I have heard Fernando Bryant himself tell me the story that Jimmy kicked him off the field one day and sent him home and told him, he said, you might as well go to Alabama because you're not going to play defense for Riverdale High School. And Coach Maynard, spent a lot of time with him and sometimes took him home after practice and everything. And he said, the guy that I counted on the most, I was disrespectful to and disappointed him, and I couldn't get out of my own way. And he said, on the way back to the locker room, I thought, well, they'll come and get me. Well, they never come and got him. They just let him walk off and let him go. So he's sitting there. He said, I was sitting there. I didn't have a ride home or nothing. He said, so I knew I had to go back to Coach Brandon. If I wanted to get home, I had to go make it right. And, up until this day, when he speaks, he tells that story about he had to change and get out of his own way to become a, Super Bowl champion and all that stuff that followed him. But, you never know how you can impact a kid. Zion, he puts on his stuff, just a kid from Lebanon. He didn't want to be a kid from Lebanon that didn't make it. He wanted to be the kid from Lebanon that did make it. And again, it takes a village. There's a lot of people that have poured into that young man, but his family and himself made the decisions. We're going to get this done no matter what.
Chuck, thank you for sharing all of that with us. That's our best, I think, our best interview that we've had in a long time. I mean, you told us and all of our listeners and viewers how you get to be that good a player. It's not just natural talent. You got to have that, but you got to listen to people too.
Yeah, it's all about we make choices every day. College guys make choices every day, and there's a choice. Are you going to get up and go to class and go to workouts, or Zion will tell you the story about they won the national championship, and on Tuesday, Kirby's got them in a meeting at 6 a.m. We're in the weight room at 6:30. Let's go. And you don't, you have to make that choice to keep striving, to keep getting better, to keep going. And it's for yourself, in life and for yourself, what goals and aspirations you want. And, I told Don, I said, well, you can't rest. You can shine them rings after a while. If you want to go to the NFL and go, it's your senior year and all the people in front of you are gone. You better buckle down. And again, he did that. And that's a testament to him and the people around him that have that mindset of, all right, we're not going to pat ourselves on the back. Let's go.
Well, Coach Chuck Gentry, we appreciate you visiting with us. Best of luck to you and the Lebanon Blue Devils.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay, we'll have an interview with Matt Dyer when we return. As we remind you, you're watching the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Got a special outdoor project that you need to tackle? BDGR Excavating is the one to call. Custom land clearing, mulching, excavation, and more. They can help get the job done, even when others have failed. Call the problem solvers at BDGR at 615-489-1329 and let them help you get that project out of the way so you can really start enjoying your property. BDGR Excavating.
Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines is a proud supporter of athletic programs throughout the area, including high school football and high school basketball. To learn more about us, please visit us at our website, www.nearstar.com. Nearstar Tennessee Zinc Mines.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Underwood Hometown Realty today. Our experienced team of professionals is here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to sell, we make the process smooth and stress-free. With deep roots in the community, we know the local market inside and out. Let us help you find your dream home or get the best value for your current one. Call Underwood Hometown Realty now at 615-683-3300, where hometown service meets real estate expertise.
Your trusted friend for all your grocery needs in Smith County is Carthage Safeway, your home-owned and home-operated supermarket. From the delicious USDA steaks in their meat department to the freshest produce around, Carthage Safeway is proud to serve you and your family. Todd and Angela Skurlock and everyone at Carthage Safeway are always there with a friendly smile and a helping hand. Great service, prices, and selection. That's Carthage Safeway, 80 Dixon Springs Highway, Carthage.
Here with Smith County head coach Matt Dyer. And Coach Dyer, I know you've got Jackson County this week and a game that could be very important in determining whether you go to the playoffs.
It is, it's one of those region games that all your region games, are the ones that can get you into the state playoffs and determine your seat and everything. And, you want to win every game, and every game's important, but those games are just a little bit more important. They got a little bit more meaning behind them. And, you know, it's finally a chance where we kind of get to play some schools similar to our size and our enrollment. You know, we've been playing 4A and 3A schools, it seems like, all year, and all of them ranked in the top 10 of their classification. We, you know, very good competition, very good football teams. And, you know, here we are with our third region game of the season, you know, playing Trousdale County and East Robb. And, you know, we've still got a really good shot of going 4-1 in our region, not looking ahead or, you know, not looking behind, but, you know, we're still trying to take everything 1 week at a time. But, you know, as coaches, you can't help but kind of look forward to where your playoff seeding might lead you in the cross region, who's going to end up 1, 2, 3, and 4, and who you might match up with, who you're traveling to, or who you're hosting. So, I mean, yeah, Jackson County, Coach Loftus, him and his team, you know, he does a great job with what they're doing. They're 5-2 on the region. They're having a season. They're having a really good season. So, you know, we better be well prepared when they come down here to the hole for us to play in our region matchup with them.
Matt, you talked about playing a lot of 3A and 4A schools, non-regional games in the first half of the season, but that's got to make you a better football team and maybe give you a little bit of a heads up kind of thing or hand up, leg up, whatever you want to say, when you finally have to start playing 2A games, because you're not going to the 3A or 4A playoffs, are you?
No, and I'm a firm believer in that, you know, and that's why we schedule the way we do. You know, we're going to schedule teams that will prepare us for our region games. We're going to play games that's going to prepare us for our playoff games. Because, you know, once you get to playoffs, all bets are off and everybody's good. You know, everybody's well coached, and that's why it's, you know, the state playoffs. But, yeah, you know, we played some really good competition, some really good football players, a lot of senior, junior heavy teams. Also, you know, there's probably a few Mr. Football finalists or candidates in some of those games we played. The Chaffin kid, there's some Division I prospects that we played against. You know, the Groves kids with East Robb, the Chaffin kid at Upperman, the Borders kids too, Mr. Football probably finalists out of Macon County. You know, all really good football players, all good football teams that we've been able to test ourselves against. And, you know, not only are we testing ourselves against really good opponents, really good teams, we're doing it with freshmen. For the last 2 weeks, we've started 5 freshmen in the last 2 games that we've played. And after those 5 freshmen, we've got a batch of sophomores too playing. You know, it's probably 7 or 8 sophomores that are getting starting reps as well, because, you know, we've only got 5 seniors on the roster and 4 juniors on the roster, and only 2 of those juniors play. So, you know, we're sitting there playing these 18-year-old young men with a bunch of 15 and 16-year-olds, and they're holding their own. They're getting better each and every week. And, you know, our starting running back right now is a freshman, starting quarterback's a sophomore, starting tight end's a freshman. We got 2 sophomore and freshman linebackers, you know, that are really getting better and progressing as the season goes on. So, you know, if they're doing that against the number 1 team in 2A, number 1 team in 4A, you know, Macon County is in the top 10, DeKalb is in the top 10, all this great competition, you know, they don't have any choice but to get better. And we really believe they have gotten better, and they've impressed us with just their grit and determination. And, you know, they've had a lot of adversity this season. So, you know, they're doing a very good job.
Coach, even at 1-6 right now, 3 region games, as you've already mentioned, Westmoreland, Monterey, and Jackson County. Of course, Jackson County is this week, and that is homecoming. I know homecoming most of the time scares coaches. There's too many distractions. They're on their feet a lot on Friday, which is your game day. And in a game this important, which could determine whether you make the playoffs or not, or seeding down the road, I know Matt Dyer has to be concerned and kind of preach, I guess, to your squad, you know, hey, you've got to stay rested.
It is, you know, and like you said, you mentioned that 1-6 record, and it's not ideal, but, you know, ideally we're only 1-1 in the region. So we're still within striking distance of getting in a tie in the top 10 if we win out, or in the top of the region if we can go 4-1. Us, East Robb, Westmoreland would all be 4-1. That's if we can do that. Like I said, we got to play Jackson County first, and Westmoreland and Monterey. But with it being homecoming and everything, you're right. It's a lot of distraction, but at the end of the day, the kids love it. The community loves it. It's a big part of your school celebration, celebrating your alumni. That's why they call it homecoming. Everybody coming home to the hole, watching, a football game, watching their kids or, family members, whatever, getting able to play and have that experience of a homecoming night, Friday night. And, you get all the festivities that come with it during the week. But, at the same time, as a player, and as a member of the community and someone in school, you love it, you cherish it, and it creates memories. But like you said, as a coach, all you see is distractions from Monday to Friday. Whether it's the decorating the cars all day Friday, or being out in the hot sun, or week in, week out, staying up, decorating the floats, or whatever it is they do now. But you want the kids to enjoy it. You want them to have an experience. At the same time, like you said, you got to remind them, like, guys, stay rested, stay smart, don't do anything silly or stupid throughout the week that's going to jeopardize you or this team come Friday night. And try your hardest to knock out the distractions. You still got a region game at hand. You got a task at hand. And you and Jackson County both are fighting for a playoff spot right now. So this is not a week to take lightly. This is not an opponent to take lightly, especially one that's got a 5-2 record. So it creates distractions, but at the end of the day, you got to allow the kids to have a good time, have a big time, but just reiterate throughout the week, guys, be smart, be safe, don't do anything silly or stupid, and just keep yourself available, because we always tell them your best ability is availability. And if you do anything throughout the week to mess with that availability, it's something that'll come down to haunt you or haunt this team, knowing that you couldn't play in that homecoming game, in that playoff game, or that playoff atmosphere that's putting you in the playoffs. If you win and if you lose, it really takes away a lot of your chances of making the playoffs.
Matt, you've also, not only have you had to play a lot of young kids this year, as you mentioned earlier, but you've also been struck by the injury bug. What's the latest on Smith County players and who's going to be playing this week, maybe that wasn't the last week or two, and who's not?
Jaden Evans, one of our seniors, he hurt his shoulder. He'll probably be out this week, just rehabbing that as we get more information on what his injury is. One of our linemen, Eric Shaw, we don't believe it's anything serious, but he could possibly be out this week. We think it might just be a sprain or something like that. Whenever Lee gives me the final injury report, our trainer, Lee Rice, gives me the final injury report, I'll know more and I can tell you more. But as far as those two guys, I believe they're the only two that's going to miss any time this week. We're about like any other high school football team. It's week 8, week 7, whatever it is. Teams are, they're battered, bruised, and, a little bit of broken. But, the biggest thing is you've got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. As soon as you take the first snap in high school football or any football in full gear, full pads, you're not going to be 100%. So a lot of it is as a young team, as young guys, you've got to learn how to take that beating. You've got to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's what a lot of our young guys are still learning. When they were in 7th and 8th grade, they were kind of the big dogs, and they've never really had to deal with these nicks and bruises and pains. Now that they're playing against 18-year-old guys who've been in the weight room and they probably weigh 20 or 30 pounds more, and they bring a little bit more thump than a little, 13 or 14-year-old. So our guys are still learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and how to push through the end of a season and how to manage their body and prepare their body for more games at the end of the season and going into the playoffs.
Coach Dyer, I know this week that it's kind of a battle of wheels in the fact that your sister Alexa, dentist up in Gainesboro, and I know Connie Jean has got Alexa a black and gold shirt to wear along with your nieces and nephews, to where there's no conflict in this week's game.
It's definitely, kind of like that making week. It's battle of the families. You know, it's the Civil War, brother fights brother, and family member fights family member, and all that. Whenever we come to these Macon County, Jackson County games, just because, you know, we know so many people. My sister, of course, has her dental practice there, and grew up with a lot of people that are going to school there, and now have kids of their own that go to school there. You know, like my mama, she subs there, so she knows everybody. But, you know, that's a good thing to have, you know, a lot of friends in a lot of places, a lot of family. It just lets you know that there's people that care about you and people that know you and there's people that are there for you. And, you know, family, friends, and God, that's the best things a man can have on earth, you know. I'm blessed to have a lot of those things.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. Best of luck to the Owls against the Blue Devils on Friday night.
DT Murphy, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Y'all good.
Go get them, Matt.
We'll have talk about the Smith County-Jackson County game and get Murphy's picks when we return to the Box Score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.
Do you ever worry about the safety of your home when you leave? Or at night while you're sleeping? Then give your home a professional security makeover with help from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation. There's never been a better time to get started.
Contact us and start your home's DTC Security Makeover today.
If you're a commercial driver looking for a company to call home, Huff and Puff Trucking is the company for you. Our employees are professional and dedicated individuals that take pride in what they do. We offer an outstanding pay package with a dispatch structure that maximizes your home time. To learn more about a company that knows you by name and treats you like family, call us at 1-800-965-5033 or visit our website at huffpufftrucking.com.
Got a special outdoor project that you need to tackle? BDGR Excavating is the one to call. Custom land clearing, mulching, excavation, and more. They can help get the job done, even when others have failed. Call the problem solvers at BDGR at 615-489-1329 and let them help you get that project out of the way so you can really start enjoying your property. BDGR Excavating.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Underwood Hometown Realty today. Our experienced team of professionals is here to guide you every step of the way. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to sell, we make the process smooth and stress-free. With deep roots in the community, we know the local market inside and out. Let us help you find your dream home or get the best value for your current one. Call Underwood Hometown Realty now at 615-683-3300, where hometown service meets real estate expertise.
And welcome back to the Box Score. We want to thank all our fine sponsors. Of course, Carthage Safeway is our title sponsor. We want to thank Huff and Puff Trucking, Near Star, Sonic of Carthage, Underwood Hometown Realty, and BDGR Excavating. Murph, you got Jackson County, you got Smith County, a long rival. Of course, they're playing in Carthage in our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week here on DTC Sports. Sean Loftus and his team coming in 5-2, Murph, very much improved.
Very much so. And that's one of those border wars, Jackson County and Smith County coming together up there near Kempville.
That's right.
And ought to be a dandy ball game, I think.
Definitely should. And, you know, this could decide if you get in the playoffs or not, Murph.
Oh, absolutely.
For both these teams.
Yeah, I agree. I think the first 3 slots are pretty well settled on, but one of these 2 teams I think is going to be playing deeper into November rather than just November 1 to close out the season.
Of course, if Smith County were to beat Westmoreland, Westmoreland's already beat East Robertson. Smith County were to beat them, their overall record is going to be so poor that Smith County, probably at the highest it's going to finish, is a number 3 slot. Of course, if they beat Jackson County and they lose to Monterey and lose to Westmoreland, they would be number 4 in all likelihood, head to Jasper to play Marion County. Murph, let's get into your picks. Let's start with East Tennessee.
Bearden at Cleveland, one of these 2 teams will likely get a home field bid in the opening round of the playoffs. Bearden won 38-21 last year. It's payback time, and I'm going to go with Cleveland on that one.
Rockwood at Harriman.
Only 10 miles separates those two schools, and there's been some great battles between those two over the years. Should be standing room only, and I'll have to go with Rockwood on it this year.
What could be a region championship game? Forest Rockets heading to Marion County.
Yeah, they're both part of Region 4. 4-2A, and like you said, regional championship on the line there. Both have solid programs, but I think Macon County's just a little bit better than Forest.
We're going to call them Marion County instead of Macon.
I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and go with the Middle Tennessee picks.
East Robertson at Trousdale. This one could get ugly. It really could. Trousdale's 0-5, and East Robertson is 6-1. Enough said.
Right. I was going to say East Robertson, of course, Trousdale did get the one forfeit win, I guess you could say, against Republic. Then we're going to look at Tullahoma at Warren County.
Warren County is yet to win a game this year, believe it or not. The Pioneers are 0-7. Tullahoma's 4-3. That's a 6A against a 5A. But this one is kind of tough to call, but I think Tullahoma comes away with a win.
FRA at BGA.
Well, I'd like to see that one. We'll find out just how good Franklin Road is. Battleground Academy got a new coach out of South Carolina. BGA's put a lot of points on the board. I think FRA's stingy defense, however, will be the difference in the ball game, and I'm going with FRA.
All right, West Tennessee picks. Start with Beach. Traveling to Paris in one of the great places to do a tailgate. I got to do that with Murphy one time. The Buccaneers going to Henry County.
Beach head coach Anthony Crabtree and Henry County coach James Counts Jr. were both starting offensive linemen at MTSU when former NFL quarterback Kelly Holcomb was playing. That's one reason he ran up so many good points. He had those guys blocking for him all the time. No word from Crabtree or Couch if there's a side bet on this game. You know, they lined up next to each other a good bit of that time. Personally, though, I think the nod should go to Beach. Crabtree's got another good football team.
Of course, former Smith County quarterback Caden Powell engineering that Buccaneer offense. Then we're going Jackson Central Mary at Huntington.
One of the biggest surprises in West Tennessee this year is Jackson Central Mary. That school was there forever, sent a lot of stars to the SEC and the NFL as well, but the Cougars have yet to lose this year. Keep a sharp eye on this club. They got lots of speed, lots of athletic ability, and I think they'll beat Huntington. I really do.
Hardin County at Haywood.
Hardin County is struggling this year. The Tigers are 1-5. Haywood is not. They're 5-1. Their only loss was to 6A Murfreesboro, Oakland. So I think Oakland knows what it takes to win a game, and I'm going to go with Haywood on that one.
Now let's look at Red Boiling Springs at Gordonsville in homecoming for the Tigers.
Good team to put on the agenda for homecoming. That's going to be Gordonsville all the way.
And then we've got Notre Dame going to Woodbury to play Cannon County.
Notre Dame's got a decent record, but they hadn't played anybody. I know their coach very, very well. Used to coach in Memphis at St. George's, and I'm anxious to see Coach Hill. I think Cannon County's very well prepared for them, and I'm going to go with the Lions in that one.
DeKalb County traveling up to Crossville to play a Cumberland County team, Murphy, that's improved.
Yeah, but they're not good enough to beat DeKalb County, I don't think. Especially after DeKalb got beat in Lafayette last week, they're gonna want to put it on somebody, and the victim's going to be Cumberland County, the Jets.
Let's go ahead and look at Jackson County in our final pick against Smith County.
Well, that's a tough one there, Terry. It's if somebody puts the ball on the ground a time or two, they're going to be in trouble, because I think those two teams are really equal. I love both of the coaches, really good guys, but I got to go with Smith County in that one.
Well, thank you for watching the box score this week. Thank our sponsors, Carthage Safeway, Huff and Puff Trucking, Nearstar, Sonic of Carthage, Underwood Home Realty, and BDGR Excavating. Thanks for watching the box score, brought to you by Carthage Safeway.